Both use turbocharged 2-litre engines. Both pump out around 300 horsepower. Both are 4-wheel drive. And both will take you to 60 in around 5 seconds and go on to over 140 miles an hour. What we have here is the top of each range. The FQ300 Evo 7 for £31,495 and the ProDrive style Impreza for £27,495. Which is best? Place your bets now. Behind the wheel of the Impreza, you soon realise that these cars are as extreme to drive as they are to look at. I can feel every bump and ripple in the road reverberating up through my spine, and the noise from the tyres sounds like it's being amplified through the CD player. Then there's the power delivery. Under 4,000 revs and it feels like you're driving a shopping car. But as the needle rises, it suddenly grows horns and turns into a supercar. Mind you, to keep the power there, you need to make frequent changes of a 6-speed gearbox that demands 100% concentration. Jump from the Subaru to the Mitsubishi and you find a world of surprising contrasts. Let's face it, first impressions are important. I'm certainly not so happy behind the wheel of this Evo 7. I'm sitting too high and these red dials are a real turn-off. There's really nothing to show me that I'm in anything special. And it's only got those 5 gears, but they do change very smoothly with an engine that's got a much wider power band. The ride, however, is even more intense than the Impreza's. You won't relax in an Evo unless you park it. Both were born and bred on the world's rally stages, and in the hands of true enthusiasts, a similar experience is only a track day away, where they quite literally transform themselves. Now, the suddenness of that power delivery doesn't really matter because you've always got it above 4,000 revs. And this 6-speed gearbox that seemed a bit awkward when you were dawdling along the roads feels just right, it's perfect. And the car has totally come alive, it doesn't feel too stiff on this smooth racing track. And whilst the handling does tend to understeer a bit wide at the front as you go into the corners, a little lift of the throttle soon gets the tail stepping out. Now, Subaru quote this car as having just over 260 horsepower, but if that turbocharged air gets too hot, that power drops off, which is why you've got that great intercooler under the bonnet. And when the pressure's on, there's a little button you can press, which will spray the intercooler with water and help reduce that air intake temperature. And you'd certainly be under pressure if you had this Evo 7 in your rear view mirror, because this FQ300 has 305 horsepower. And although they won't tell us what the FQ stands for, it's certainly effing quick. The brakes seem to have got a bit more fade than the Subarus, especially after 3 laps of hard work. But there's no doubt, if it's excitement you want, then the Evo is the car for you. It too has a button to press to spray the intercooler, but now there's an automatic mode which will chime in when the temperature goes above 60 degrees, so it'll leave you to sort out what the car's doing. But the end result still seems to be pretty wild to me. But the Evo also has an electronically controlled active centre differential and its active yaw control to come to your aid. And all this adds up to a lap time some 2 seconds faster than the Impreza's. So it's the Evo that's the quickest and most focused track car. But it's the Impreza that's the best all-rounder. It's got the more extreme looks, it's easy to live with from day to day, and with the £4,000 I'd save, I could pay for a couple of track days, plus the new brakes and tyres I'd need after them.
I'm driving this car pretty much with all my upper body strength, turning the wheel is coming right from my shoulders all the way down my arms, into the chicane.
Oh, Steady, Tiff, steady, 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 steady. Ah!
The resto modifications are impressive, but it's not as easy to drive as a current 911.